It is a beautiful day in the capital of the Commonwealth of Virginia, Richmond. It's about to get a little loud here at Richmond International Raceway. Monster Energy qualifying is about to take place for the pole for the Toyota Owners 400 on Sunday, all part of Fast Friday, presented by K&N. It's a little warm, 86 today, 91 tomorrow, 90 on race day, track temp 110. So the big question is, as 38 cars get set to time trial, is Jeff Gordon's track record from September 2013 of 20.674 seconds in jeopardy?
Let's ask him and see what he thinks.
Not because I'm biased, but it is not in jeopardy. We saw these cars really slide
One
around.
of 80, let me just interrupt by saying that's one of 80.
I think it's 81, but 81
poles. How many do you have?
59.
Okay.
Or maybe 60.
Just checking.
But I don't think that it's in jeopardy. But I think we're going to see a really exciting qualifying session because the grip level with that high of a track temp and as little downforce these cars have, we saw a lot of wheel spin, a lot of sideways driving. These drivers are going to have their hands full, and it's going to be fun to watch.
So in each round, is your first lap going to be the money lap, or are you going to need multiple laps?
And, you know, I think with these tires, what I've heard a lot of the guys say is heat cycles seems to really take a lot of speed out of the tires. So it wouldn't surprise me to see our best lap in our first go round here, maybe get a little slower in each session. But these guys always surprise me. They seem to find a little something for that final round, so we'll have to wait and see.
I think somebody that saves the amount of laps on the tires will be a big factor in that final round.
I think so too. All right, it's almost 90 degrees here in Richmond, so let's head for the mountains. And Matt Yoakum.
Hey, Mike, it's definitely Chamber of Commerce weather here at Richmond, and you see the sun's out, track's getting hot. How important to try to keep as few heat cycles on your tires here?
Well, I think the more you can do in as few laps as possible, if you can get away with possibly running one lap, which I don't know that you will probably be able to do that, but if you could, that would definitely be an advantage as you get later into the next couple rounds. So the less heat cycles you have on these tires, the better off you are. The track loses speed pretty much every time that you go out, and in this hot weather, it definitely makes it more challenging. So hopefully our Busch Light Ford is good, and we can get a good qualifying spot.
He's hoping to be a little lighter here. His little Busch Light colors going for another pole. Vince?
With Kurt Busch, the Daytona 500 winner, and we're just talking about kind of strategy. Do you need more than one lap the first time, second time, third time? How do you guys see it?
You always hope you can nail it on the first lap. The tires seem though they like 2 laps. So the first lap, not quite a throwaway lap, but just watching the general history, guys will pick up a good 3 to 4 tenths on that second lap. Now that's the first round. Round 2, round 3, got to nail it that first lap.
A lot of guys asking for grip in practice this morning. Is that what everybody wants in qualifying?
Yeah, I'm just going to take my Mobil 1 annual protection paint scheme and just drizzle oil behind our car. That way nobody has grip after I'm done.
That's one philosophy.
I know a guy that did that one time.
I'm not discounting that. All 38 cars are on the line and ready to qualify in Richmond. This Tuesday, Dale Earnhardt Jr. announced this season will be his final run in the Cup Series of NASCAR. Here's his record at Richmond. Enjoy. Here's Matt Yoakum with NASCAR's most popular driver.
Mike, Dale Earnhardt Jr. trying to make new headlines here at the end of the week. I know you'd love to add another pole to your resume here at Richmond. Just glad to be back at a place you've had so much fun in the past.
Well, I like them all, but yeah, this place is pretty fun. And hopefully the groove widens out. I didn't get a chance to watch the practice just now with the Xfinity cars, but hopefully the groove will widen out and we'll be able to move around a little bit. That's when this place is really great, or any racetrack for that matter, is when you got a second or third groove to try and use in the race. And a lot of times when they get the tire right here, it really works well.
All right, thanks, Dale. Mike?
Wow, end of an era, you know.
It really is.
He'll be back here in September. The track's not going to do any big celebration this weekend. They will in September when he races here for the final time.
And there's a lot of racing left in this season, and I bet he wins a couple.
Said he wouldn't mind if this season dragged on a bit past November. Vince Welch?
I'm sitting here on the wall with Danica Patrick, who, if you follow Danica on social media at all, you know that she is one of the most active and one of the most fit athletes in NASCAR. So you might also be surprised that she sprained her ankle stepping off a curb yesterday. You've got the big brace on your ankle here on the left.
I do have a brace. race on it.
Yeah,
but,
what'd you do?
Yeah, I was doing a photo shoot for Aspen Dental yesterday, a commercial actually, and I was walking to set for the first time, and we were in one of the suites in turn 4 in the infield at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and I stepped off kind of laterally, and it was a tall step, and it was an uneven ground, and I'm saying that so NASCAR will fix it so nobody else has a problem, because they told me a lot of people have issues stepping off of there, and I just rolled my foot out, and my ankle popped, and I fell on the ground, and I about hyperventilated because I thought there's no way my foot is attached to my leg anymore in any significant way other than skin right now.
I understand that feeling, yeah.
So I moved it a little bit, and I was like, all right, and then I stood up after about 10 minutes, and I put pressure on it, and I was like, I'm gonna be all right. I'm gonna be okay.
Any impact at all? I know you got the brace on with what you're trying to do or need to do in the car.
No, I don't feel anything. When I'm braking in the car, when I'm driving, I don't. The only thing that's like full range of motion is what's challenging or what feels pressure. So just like pushing the clutch in, I just move my foot up and kind of push my leg through instead of like using my ankle, I use my leg. So, but it's fine. I'm sure it'll be a little bit of a pain in the butt on Sunday when I have to like shut the engine down and cool it off, because you usually just push the clutch in and let it coast, and then you pop it. I might have to take it out of gear.
You're tough. You can do it. Mike.
Well, Vince is the expert in that, having had his foot turned almost 180 degrees to the side in a golf cart crash. But as you can see, he's doing fine now. Thank goodness.
Well, that's going to be pretty challenging for Danica Patrick, just because you do use a lot of brake here and obviously a lot of pit stops during this race on Sunday. So it's good that she's got that brace, maybe lose a little bit of mobility, but good that it's going to stabilize it.
Well, knowing that is going to be kind of disheartening to the 25 drivers who were slower than her in practice this morning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she had a good practice. And
all right, 3 rounds knockout qualifying. Round 1, 24 will advance. Spots 25 to 38 are set. Round 2, 24 drivers, half will advance to the final round. We'll find out who wins the Coors Light pole. For Sunday's race, here are the drivers who have been pole winners so far in 2017. Kevin Harvick, the only one to double up. Pole qualifying at Richmond, round 1, coming up when we come back. The Monster Energy Series getting ready to run for the pole on the 3/4 mile of Richmond, Virginia. Here's Larry McReynolds.
Yeah, Mike, first and foremost, I find it hard to believe this is the first short track we're actually going to have qualifying for the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series. But I think it's going to be a little bit of a cat and mouse game with this qualifying because tires are so important. One thing, this track is going to start to cool down on into this qualifying session, and the track's going to gain grip. You want to run fast enough to make sure you advance from round 1 to round 2. But don't abuse those tires. Kevin Harvick told Matt Yoakum also the last thing you want to do is have to run more than one time in round 1 or 2, because that's those heat cycles that actually takes away from those tires as well.
Oh. Thanks, Larry. We notice quite a bit more darkness in the corners after all that Xfinity Series practice.
I think the biggest challenge to the drivers right now is how much grip is out there on the track. How hard, how aggressive can I drive into that first corner, into turn 3? And because you want to get all that you can out of it, but boy, you don't want to step over it, because what does that mean? Another heat cycle, another run, or another lap.
A lot of drivers are still not in their cars, and round 1 has begun. Go out and run as many laps or as few laps as you want anytime during this session.
Well, I just wonder, that sun's going down fast at this time of the day. This track temp's going to cool down as the sun goes down, and I think that they're going to want to wait as long as they can, just in case there's a little bit of extra speed towards the end of this first round.
What you don't want to hear, Mike, is you better run another one.
Right.
No, you like to be able to nail it on that first lap if you can, and these guys have got a pretty good idea what it'll take to move on.
What you want to hear is, that's good. That's good.
Bring it in. No, yeah.
Not a lot of big clouds. A couple of puffy clouds have floated through. Looks like kind of a haze headed this way from the west. See if that impacts this session, but that's what most of it looks like. No chance of rain. Who will be the first to go? Larry.
Yeah, I want to look down there at Austin Dillon's 3 car. We talked about this in practice at Bristol last week. They failed the laser inspection station multiple times. Their penalty, they lost 30 minutes of practice earlier today. They lost their pit selection for this race, and no matter what, they have to start at the rear of the field. They fought that race car tooth and nail in practice. You know what? If I was Sammy Johns, interim crew chief, I might just use this as a practice session.
Oh, good point. Hey, tonight on Fox, 8 p.m., 7 Central, is the season finale of Rosewood, and Austin Dillon is a guest star on that episode.
I'll be
Should
watching.
be fun.
I'm going to watch just because Austin Dillon's on the show. That's cool.
Will that be between appetizer and salad?
Exactly. When you play, are you going to tape
record it?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're going to record it.
Perfect.
I don't think it's recording. I think it's DVR in these days.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Oh, I bet cameras don't have film in them anymore either, do they?
No, the R still stands for recording.
Yeah, I forgot about that important meeting. That
Yeah, that meeting we have to have.
Y'all are always
downtown.
up on the chip. I don't know what's wrong with y'all.
We're going to have that meeting, and it evaluates our first half of our Fox season.
That's right. You can see in Denny Hamlin's car, here is, oh, sorry, the digital readout, which says 95 degrees in the car. Now, the sensor for that readout is right down at the bottom of that seat where we can't quite show it to you.
And we saw those temperatures in practice earlier for Denny Hamlin, getting up to 105, 106 degrees. Just think, I mean, it's going to be hotter tomorrow and Sunday. I think it's going to, I think what you do hydration-wise this weekend is going to be very important, and that fitness level that you have is going to play out in this race.
That's where the sensor is, right down near the floor.
Well, and remember one thing. Car's sitting there at 95 degrees right now. It has no heat in it.
Right.
I mean, once he goes out and
down.
comes back in, there'll be a little heat that saturates up through the floor pan, and that thing will be 110 degrees.
I'll tell you, the last 3 minutes of this session is going to be pandemonium, the way this is setting up. Now, if you're the 3 car and you have to start last anyway, why not go out now? Why go out?
Well, I was going to say, why even go out?
Because, like Larry said, you treat this as a practice session. I'd go out and run some laps.
Well, but do you think of it this way? Do you treat it as a practice session for this weekend's race or for qualifying when they come back here? This is an important race, important qualifying session for being in the playoffs. So they may be thinking, no, let's do a qualifying run to simulate it for the next time we come back.
It's the one X factor. You have to start the race on these tires. I don't think you want to treat it as a test session.
Yeah, no, I don't either.
Well, everybody hopes to catch a cloud, including Denny Hamlin.
I've been looking at that cloud for the last 4 or 5 minutes. I'm about blind. I can't tell which way it's moving.
I think it's getting closer to us, but it ain't moving in a hurry, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's what it looks like it works this way, and then more moves toward the track. So I don't know. It's going to be quick when it gets here, though.
So it's come to this.
Everybody wants to be a weatherman. There it is.
Why is this so important, folks? This is a track where when it cools down, if it can come down 5 degrees from where it is right now, picks up a tremendous amount of grip and a lot of speed, and it could make a big difference between moving from round 1 to round 2 or just doing 1 lap on these tires to get yourself positioned for round 2 and 3.
Jimmy Kleiman aboard, the ace cyclist. We talked to Jamie McMurray about cycling, and we talked about going uphill versus down on the Virginia Creeper Trail east of Bristol, Tennessee in Abington. Well, they have their own Twitter handle, @VA Creeper Trail, and they're celebrating their 30th anniversary of that rail trail this Saturday in Abington, Virginia. So if you're in that area, bring your 2 wheels, come have some fun.
Me and DW are the downhill experts.
Right.
We go on the slippery slope trail.
Every show, it seems.
Every time we saddle up.
Timmy Hill going to make his 55th start in this series on Sunday, and Austin Dillon are on the track.
Boy, there's no doubt how much tape Timmy Hill's running on the front of that car. They wanted to make that clear to everybody. There's Austin Dillon rolling out. He's got to move slow. He's trying to give a bit of a gap to Timmy Hill. I don't know.
And
He's rolling really slow through 3.
No, you know what he might be doing? He's just getting a little heat in the tires because they say the second lap's the best, so he's going to kind of take it easy on this first lap.
No, guys, what he's doing, He's going to start at the rear. This is his qualifying lap.
Right.
He's going to come in. He'll have fairly fresh tires to start this race on Sunday.
You're exactly right.
I bet he just had to take the green flag.
Only a crew chief would think of that.
So he's just rolling in that set,
Does
and
he
then
have
he'll
to
park
complete
it.
this lap or just roll and take the green? That's
Actually,
the question.
Jeff, in order to have a starting spot in the field, he had to roll it off the truck this morning. Roll it off the lift gate.
I bet he only runs one lap.
I bet he still got
when he
stickers,
crosses
too.
the line, they're going to say, shut it down. That's good.
But he's still
Okay,
got the
bring it to
stickers.
us.
He's still got the stickers on those tires too.
I hope so.
You know this.
51 is still his speed. Start finish line out the back.
Yeah, just get this
23-23 for Timmy Hill.
But this is a perfect example of, even though you're paying the price on the penalty, you're going to try to still see if there's an advantage or a way that you can capitalize on it, and that's what they're going to do by having far less laps on their tires than anybody else.
None. Greg Galding, home race for him. Galding from Colonial Heights here in Virginia. Has fond memories of sitting in the grandstand here as a 10-year-old, watching Kyle Busch drive to victory here. Of course, that was only 9 years ago.
You can see him leave some tracks there off of turn 2. Gives you an idea of what the grip level is right now and the amount of power in these race
Remember your
cars.
track bar if you need it.
Sweet Frog is a chain of yogurt shops.
We heard him mention track bar. That's really the only adjustment inside the car, maybe brake bias adjuster as well, that these drivers can make while in the car to adapt the car from one end of the racetrack to the other, or from one lap to the other. They feel the car out. There's a little slide here for Matt DiBenedetto off of turn 2. So in that situation, like if he felt like the car was too loose right there down that back straightaway, he's got an adjuster on the steering wheel or somewhere in the car. He can run that track bar down and try to tighten them up in the next corner.
You might be able to get away with that in his first go round, but I'll be darned if I want to mess with that track bar when I'm trying to focus on putting down a fast lap.
Oh,
I mean, that's a small racetrack. I ain't got a lot of time here.
I agree, but I've heard some drivers say, I'll adjust it one way on the front straightaway, another way on the back straightaway.
That would be called a minor adjustment, because it couldn't have very,
Well, yeah,
very long.
it doesn't move really fast.
So Matt DiBenedetto, I've been working on that this week, and Corey LaJoie, both sponsored by E.J. Wade Construction this week. LaJoie in a Toyota, DiBenedetto in a Ford. 23:08 for DiBenedetto. Greg Galding is quickest, 22:97.
We saw times all the way down in the 21 second bracket in practice. I mean, with this track temperature right now, currently where it's at, you know, it might be a struggle to get down there. Might be just a little bit too little grip. But if that sun goes down, that cloud comes out, and this track cools down, we might see them creep into the 21 second bracket.
DiBenedetto climbs to the top, 22:89.
Yeah, and you know, Jeff, there's a nice little breeze blowing over the racetrack. That helps cool the track a little bit.
Well, they're certainly not going to get the cloud.
No. Went the other way.
You're going to miss a lot if you wait on the clouds.
Corey LaJoie on the clock. That company does heavy civil engineering, directional boring, and aerial operations. E.J. Wade, who owns the company, it's a female-owned company, certified by the Commonwealth as a minority-owned business.
All that this is doing right now is just building things up towards the end of this qualifying round, because the more cars that sit on pit road and wait for that track temperature to come down, the more hectic and crazy it's going to be when they finally do go out.
Yeah, we're halfway through this session, coming up on 10 minutes. So, but it only takes 21 and a half, 22 seconds to get around this joint too. So,
and what is happening right now, they're going to the lap times from practice and showing what DiBenedetto ran, what Galding ran, what LaJoie ran, and comparing it to what they just ran in qualifying versus what they ran in practice, because that gives them an idea of what the grip level is.
So Austin Dillon will drive to dinner probably faster than he just rolled around this racetrack to secure his spot in the field.
I think he was going for a debrief.
David Reagan, the Good Sam Ford. Really, was it that fast? Austin Dillon ran 82 miles an hour. He better not drive to dinner that fast.
He might.
Corey LaJoie is third, 23-13. See what Reagan can do here.
Always love when he wins. You know how fast you were going? No, but I bet you do.
You've heard that, haven't you?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Third for David Reagan, 23:04. On the lower right, you can see that qualifying was lost 2 of the last 5 years due to weather. Mark Martin, Matt Kenseth, Joey Logano, the latest spring pole winners here.
Looks like David Reagan's going to get to the top of the board.
Should
here.
be a little better
He
lap.
does.
22:81.
And you know, I just think about not having qualifying sessions on the last 2 short tracks at Martinsville and Bristol.
off and go again.
And really how that affected the race. It had a pretty big effect on the race. I think back to Martinsville, that #1 pit stall is so important. And Kyle Larson had that #1 pit stall, as we see.
Whoa, man.
Big slide for Suarez.
Suarez up the hill there. It killed that lap.
Boy, there's just no grip out there right now.
Well, you're talking about Larson in the #1 pit stall.
Run 2 anyway. Yep, that's what.
And we're corrected on the speeding penalty that he received last week. We had it as exiting the pits. That was the information we received from NASCAR. It turns out he was too fast entering his pit up at the turn 4 end
Run 3, Daniel.
of that side of pit road.
What's amazing is with that big moment that Suarez had, he still went #1 on the chart.
Yeah, he's just having trouble in turn 1 down there. Car pushed up again on that second lap. Probably be a little bit better.
Watch for Keselowski to only run 1 lap here. You know, a lot of times the Penske cars play that strategy and play it really well to their advantage.
Oh, business is picking up. 3-4 cars on the track right now. Another 3 headed out.
Boy, Suarez is going to have to run a 3rd lap here, guys.
Well, 22:73. He's quickest for now.
Picked it up every lap.
He did. Keselowski with a 50. I think that gives you a pretty good idea of what the grip level is. But
McMurray second with a
Shut her
61.
down.
he's going to shut it down, but I guarantee you there's a lot of unknowns right now because practice times are so much faster. I said a 22:45, right? 22:45.
22:45.
I think you said
Let me get back to you on that.
21:45. I think that's what I
I think
remember.
we're all going to be way off.
Oh, no, it's early. We're going to be close.
And heck, they ran in practice. These were like race run speeds for a lot of these teams. That's just how much the grip has gone away here with the sun being out. And I forgot also that all the Xfinity practice and all the rubber laid down.
At the end of practice, we were saying if you could run a 22:40, that was a very good lap for that time of day. And it looks like it still would be.
Yeah, it's a very good point.
Paul Menard on the left, Kevin Harvick on the right. Third for Newman, 22:54. Ryan Newman. Harvick 7th, Menard 6th.
Well,
And Harvick to the top.
And Harvick, you know, was the benefactor a year ago with this qualifying session that rained out and really was strong in this race. So, you know, anxious to see how he qualifies if he can keep that. Oh, Larson gets really loose the middle 1 and 2.
Matt Kenseth to second.
I wonder, Jeff, there's a good little crosswind blowing down into turn 1 down there. Got a nice wind coming out off of turn 4 headed down that way. Wonder if it's moving the cars a little bit because it's a couple of cars I've seen run up the hill down there.
Certainly could be affecting them getting down into turn 1 because that you're right, DW. That is the angle that it would do that.
Ryan Blaney to 7th, Micah McDowell to 10th.
Here's a guy I'm anxious to see. He was very fast at the end of practice. I felt like he put up pretty much the best lap time of any of those that ran late in practice and made qualifying runs. It was Denny Hamlin.
And he came out of the pits, Jeff, and he really didn't pick up any speed till he got to turn 3. So he's trying to save as much tire as he can. I think he'll only run 1 lap.
That's Hamlin's bumper cam on the left of the screen. A.J. Allmendinger on the right. Allmendinger 12th.
That's pretty solid.
Yeah, but I'm not so sure he's going to be able to just run 1 lap and be completely safe.
That's
Ninth for Hamlin with a 65.
You know, Darryl, you were mentioning about like Suarez really having troubles down in 1 and 2. I mean, don't get me wrong, turns 3 and 4 has sun on it, but it looks like to me most of the sun is beaming down right on turns 1 and 2, more so than 3 and 4.
I think the sun and the wind, I think, is a combination of things that are really causing guys to run up the hill a bit more in turns 1 and 2 than they'd like to.
Hamlin to second.
Yeah, but
Busch to 8th.
And
Larson,
he
7th.
He did have to take 2 laps. Harvick took 2 laps as well. Kenseth and Keselowski are in a pretty good position. They're in the top 6 or 5 positions and only did 1 lap.
Truex to 3rd. Kurt Busch to 4th.
Boy, Junior
Yeah, he took a big
had his hands full.
He did, didn't he? Took a big swing at it. I thought I heard the car bottom out right there.
Eric Jones to 11th. Earnhardt now to 11th. So on the bubble, Reed Sorensen in 24th.
Junior gets a little bit of trouble down in 1 and 2. Car was just a little bit loose down there. Looks a lot better off turn 4. Coming to get the checkered flag, I guess, in this case.
Landon Castle 19th, and Junior just 2 100ths slower with a big handful of wheel on lap 2.
Not surprising.
Should be safe.
He was busy inside the car right there.
Wow, Logano to 2nd on his first lap. Tied with Harvick.
That's a pretty big deal right there.
Right to the 1000th.
Run that kind of speed on your with only 1 lap. That means you got a lot left.
Boyer to 9th. Chase Elliott 15th. And now it's David Reagan on the bubble.
Yeah, Chase. He's going to try to run a 2nd lap. We just saw something really interesting out of the 17 of Stenhouse run a higher lane trying to see if there's some extra grip up there.
Boy, he is. He's a high on both ends of the track, but he practiced up there like that, I remember.
Boyer to 3rd. Elliott up to 8th.
I think that Boyer's going to be tough this weekend, guys. Coming off that great run last week. He likes this racetrack. That team is getting better and better. Keep an eye on that 14 car.
Watch Ricky Stenhouse here in replay.
Ooh.
Got the right rear tire. You saw the black mark up on the wall.
Yep.
But
so he comes in. He's 14th. Chris Buescher 15th. Landon Castle's been bumped. Michael McDowell on the hot seat now.
Here comes a 48.
Chris Buescher up to 13th. Jimmy Johnson, Eric Almirola.
See what 07 time can do. 7 championships, 82 wins.
Almirola bumps McDowell. Menard goes to the hot seat.
Jimmy's looking like he's got a pretty good lap here.
Yeah, not bad.
And Johnson 4th fastest. Casey Kane 18th. Danica Patrick 17th. Ty Dillon is now the bubble car, and that's reflected in the chart at the lower right, being compared to 24th.
Got about a minute to go here, so what you see, it might be what you get.
Dale Earnhardt Jr., when he ran, I believe he was 11th. He's now 20th. And here's what he asked.
Why did you call me off? I killed the damn tires running 2 laps. You thought that was going to be good enough, didn't you? Talk to me. The problem is the next, I mean, it's pretty tight in the 60s right there. 63, 64, 64-1, you know, so.
Well, they're rolling Austin Dillon's car back to the garage so as not to disturb the stickers that are still on the tires. But he did make a qualifying lap and will start 38th. Eric Almirola, Paul Menard, Michael McDowell, and Landon Castle, the ones that just missed it by hundredths. And there is the rest of the field. Vince.
Well, the first one on the other side of that cut line was Eric Almirola. What are the conditions like out there? We've talked a lot about the sun beating down on the track.
Yeah, it's slick. You know, the sun was probably beating down just as much. The track was just as hot in practice, but with 2 Xfinity practices between when we practiced and when we went to go qualify there, the track had just had a lot more rubber down on it. It was really slick, and the car was just a lot more up on top of the racetrack. So disappointed that we missed the cut there to make the top 24, but of all racetracks we go to, this one, if you get your car driving good and get it to roll the middle and drive up off the corner, which everybody wants.
Is that all?
Yeah. you can pass a lot of cars here. So we got our work cut out for us for sure with Smithfield Ford Fusion. It's a big weekend here for us in Richmond, Virginia. Smithfield headquarters about 40 or 50 miles away, but we got our work cut out for us tomorrow to make sure our car rolls the middle like we need it to, and when I push the gas down, it's got to go straight.
Thank goodness for a couple of practices tomorrow. Thanks, Eric. Let's go to Matt.
Vince, Trevor Bayne was top 5 in practice earlier today. You had a chance to look at Dartfish to see what might have happened and where you struggled on your qualifying attempt.
I struggled everywhere right there. We were just sliding around. I mean, the track is supposedly it's a little cooler than practice, but it felt like it was 100 degrees hotter. The thing was just on top of the track, in, middle, and off. I had no grip. So I tried to move my line out just a little bit like my teammate did in practice. Ricky made some speed, running the middle in 3 and 4. I tried that, didn't work. Tried the bottom, didn't work. So we were at a lack of grip there, front and rear, really. So it's hard to make adjustments when the whole car is on top of the track for a second run to go faster. But I'm confident with these guys. Our Epicare team will get it figured out. For race trim, we'll be fast tomorrow and Sunday when it counts. But I'm just kind of mad that we made a second run and went slower. We put 2 laps on our tires we didn't need to do. So we'll get it figured out.
Thanks, Trevor. Mike?
He ran a total of 5 laps. Now, he talked about Ricky Stenhouse running a different line to get some more speed, and there is the result on the right side. Stenhouse 16th in round 1.
Remember, he hit the wall in practice too, coming off turn 2 back there, down the back straightaway. So, but he ran a totally different line than anybody else. I will give him credit for that. He was in that high, wide, and handsome group.
We'll have a close look at those drivers with only 1 hot lap on their tires. As we move to round 2, Ty Dillon made 2 runs to stay in the top 24. That's why he has 5 laps on his. 24 drivers in that group will be cut in half in round 2. Next. Add a little more tape, maybe get a little more speed. We'll see. As we move into round number 2, can Joey Logano sweep all 3 rounds? Here are the drivers who have done so. Logano last April at Martinsville. The sound of silence is the track opening for round 2.
Well, we got 10 minutes, so no rush. Although I'd say no rush. I guess, Larry, it wouldn't be a bad idea to get out to put your lap down and then come in and get everything cooled down. If
yeah, that's what I was going to say,
yeah.
DW. You know, depending on how confident you are in your car, if you think you're going to advance it to round 3. Now, this is tight qualifying session, so it's not that easy to plan that out and be that confident. But if you could, going out early and then letting them cool down as much as possible for round 3,
yeah,
definitely an advantage.
I agree with that.
I think already you have an advantage goes to Joey Logano, Jimmy Johnson, and those others that only made 1 lap.
And I don't think there's going to be any chance to catch a cloud during this 10-minute period. So here goes Denny Hamlin. You are a bug on the bumper.
Oh, that's cool. Love that shot.
I like that wall. Look at that wall. It turns into a streak.
Well, thanks to Mike Wheeler and the 11 team for allowing us that camera placement. 22:56.
Well, he feels like he's got to go make another one. I don't know. I think that he's obviously driving the car and inside knows what he felt, whether it was good enough. But
now, Matt Kenseth only ran 1 lap in round 1.
Ooh, and Denny did not go faster, so I think he's going to regret making that second lap if he does advance through.
Kenseth is quicker, 22:43.
I believe Keselowski only ran 1 lap also in round 1.
Correct.
Hamlin deployed, he had a little different strategy. He came out of the pit kind of slow. Really never got up a lot of speed on that first come to the green lap until he got to turn 3. So I thought his second lap would be quicker, but I think he did too. But
it's almost like he was planning on running 2 the whole time.
Exactly.
Keselowski third, 22:70. And he's 1 and done.
Ooh, I don't know if that's going to be enough to make it through. I mean, I only say that because he's a 10th off of Hamlin. So, you know, that's on a short track like this, that's a pretty decent gap. And then you go 2/10, over 2/10 all the way up to Kenseth. Usually that kind of a gap means that there's going to be a lot to fill in between first and 12th.
Yeah, 22.66 could be borderline.
Yeah, you take that 22.43 that Kenseth ran. He ran 22.49, so he picked up a teeny bit over what he ran in the first session.
I believe he's very safe to move on. And he only has 2 laps on his tires. Things looking good for Matt Kenseth.
Yeah, picking up in this round is pretty impressive. I don't care if it's only a few hundreds. That's pretty impressive.
Now, Mike Wheeler, according to Vince, said the plan all along was for Denny Hamlin to do 2 laps.
Yeah, it appeared that way, Mike, because I watched him come out of the pit kind of slow halfway down the back before we really started to get on it. So I think that was his plan, but
and that's okay.
It'll work out.
Hamlin's going to be close, but a 56, that's not that big a spread to Kenseth. And perhaps that extra speed for Kenseth was due in part to having only one fast lap on his tires in round 1.
I think that's it.
So you see here those roof flaps on the 20 of Matt Kenseth. Then we go here to this shot of the grill taped up on the 4 of Kevin Harvick. And we saw them applying that tape. What they do is this was taped up in round 1. When they come in, they untape that and let air move through to try to cool everything down and maybe even blow some well, I don't know if they have fans to blow in there. Just let air either evacuate out or move through there just to keep everything as cool as possible.
Yeah, well, that, you know, you talk about the grill, people look at that big area up there right below the hood. It's really not, that's not really where the opening is. The opening is down at the bottom down here. We see all that black tape.
Yeah, Rodney Childers had the ones that he wanted pulled off in between the cool down marked with those orange tabs. That's what that was.
Okay. Well, most cars today take in a lot, street cars take in a lot of their air below the bumper. If there is a grill above the bumper, it's largely cosmetic.
Boy, if anybody's on top of their game right now, it's Joey Logano. That's a fantastic first lap. I think this only makes Keselowski more in jeopardy, though, as Logano ran that 22.22. It's all about 22 today, right now.
Look at that.
Car 22 ran 22.22, picked up a 10th.
Yeah, look at Stenhouse. So he jumps up to 3rd with a 52. That's not a bad run. That puts him ahead of Hamlin, Keselowski, and Kane.
Harvick also putting down a pretty good lap here.
Yep, 31. He backs up his first round time.
Stenhouse up to 3rd, guys.
22.42.
It's pretty impressive for Stenhouse to get that kind of speed out of that car.
Yeah, he must have learned something running that groove that he ran earlier, or maybe because he ran that, maybe it took a little bit. Maybe he realized, hey, that higher groove didn't work for me. My car's actually not too bad. Let me move down. I can pick up. He certainly has.
Yeah.
Blaney 8th. Kurt Busch 5th with a 44.
Blaney's on another run here and making another lap. We'll see where he ends up. 9th right now.
Newman 6th.
It's a little bit loose off turn 4. Let's see what he gets. Yeah, he picked it up 6 quick now.
Saw Larson come off turn 4 the last time by pretty loose. Yeah, he's not going to be happy at all with that lap. Right now, 11th out of 11 cars. He got loose off of 4 coming to the green. He drifted up the racetrack. I think his car's just really lacking rear grip.
Dale Jr. just made a lap there. He's up to 9th here with a 22.61.
And Larson's on the bubble.
And he's actually making another lap.
Yeah, I think he's...
Larson picks up to 10th, moves Keselowski to the bubble, and Keselowski just got bumped by Truex. And by Kyle Busch, that bumps Casey Kane.
A little bit better lap by Junior, guys. That's a 8th for the 88 at a 22.52, so not a bad run.
Truex is on the bubble. That's 12th. He and Denny Hamlin in jeopardy right now.
Truex moves up to 4th position. Had to make 2 laps to do that.
Kyle Busch 7th, so all these times compared to Denny Hamlin, who is 12th. Bowyer 11th.
Boy, this is just a whole lot about tire management, you know.
Allmendinger and Ty Dillon at the bottom of the chart, and Patrick.
What I find so interesting, DW, is its tire management, slide management. There's just no grip. It's so slick out there. You cannot afford to overdrive the corner. You cannot afford to get on the gas too hard. If it steps out, your lap is ruined.
Yeah, the only guy that's really got Stenhouse got 4 laps on his tires, but then you got Logano, and Harvey's got 3. Logano's got 2. Truex has got 3, and Matt Kenseth's sitting there with just 2 laps on his tires. That's your top 5, and 2 laps that's impressive to be in the top 5.
It's like being on a slick dirt track, but be aggressive because you really need to get all you can get out of it.
Chase Elliott bumps in. That knocks out Hamlin. That 56 was not enough for Denny Hamlin. And Daniel Suarez was on a flyer. That's going to be close for Suarez. He's in with 10th. Elliott's out. Bowyer to the bubble. And Newman put him on the bubble. He and Bowyer tied with a 55 with a 7.
That's a great recovery by Daniel Suarez, because that first round, he was all over the place. We even saw a big wiggle out of him getting into turn 1 in this round, but yet, he put it in there in 10th position. It's going to be really tight. I think McMurray's certainly going to have a good lap here and go into the top 12.
Wow, 4th for McMurray.
Good run.
And that bumps either Newman or Bowyer, one or the other.
It's funny, isn't it? McMurray is 4th. His teammate Larson is 17th.
That pretty disappointing lap out of Jimmy Johnson right there. He only ran 1 lap, and it was really good in round 1, but he's outside the top 12 and shutting it down.
16th for Johnson.
Keselowski giving it another shot.
The reason Bowyer and Newman keep flipping there is because they ran identical times. And owner points will sort out.
Hamlin back out, see if he can pick up any, but I don't see it. Car doesn't look that good in 1 and 2.
Keselowski ran another lap, but is 15th.
Yeah, he picked it up, but not enough to move inside the top 12.
Running out of time.
Running out.
1. Time has expired. The 11 has seen the flag.
So Hamlin will not get to run another lap, and he will not make it to round 1.
Yeah, the car just didn't look that good, particularly in 1 and 2. A lot of cars having trouble at turn 1s and 2.
I just want to know who's ahead, Bowyer or Newman?
14 advances, 31 ties, but based on owner points, will not advance.
Isn't that incredible? A tie for 12th goes back to owner points.
The first 11 drivers were all faster than in round 1. Joey Logano, get the broom out, boys. He wins round 1 and 2. Welcome back to Richmond. Let's take you through positions 13 through 24 for Sunday's 400 lapper here.
Bunch of big names in there, guys.
One of the biggest, Jimmy Johnson, last week's winner. Vince?
Well, qualifying hasn't been the strength of this team this season, but they don't pay you so much to qualify. It's how you finish, and you guys have certainly been finishing well. But what's the issue with the qualifying run here today?
It's just a very challenging, qualifying session. And on stickers, we put up a great time, and you're a little nervous to change much, to fire back off on scuffs. And the track is much different on scuffs than stickers. So I just lacked drive off. Drive off was marginal on the sticker run, and I go into scuffs, it was just far worse. So, we definitely felt like we were going to qualify better than 17th, especially the way that first round went. But it's part of it, and qualifying is not my strong suit. And let's line them up and race, and I'll be just fine.
Yeah, I think the racing part you got taken care of. Well done. Thanks, Jimmy. Let's go to Matt.
Vince, Brad Keselowski was 10th fastest in the first session, and you'll roll off 15th on Sunday. Where do you feel like you might have lost it or struggled on this round?
Yeah, I'm not real sure, Matt. We just didn't have it. So I had to take a look and diagnose it. But, the last few times we've been here, we haven't qualified all that great, but we raced really well. So hopefully that's the case come here this Sunday with the Detroit Genuine Parts Ford. So I guess we'll find out.
Thanks, Brad.
Getting ready for round 3, a few adjustments being made.
Yeah, we heard Jimmy Johnson say they just didn't know which direction to go from round 1 to round 2 by making the right adjustments. And there's an adjustment that's basically taking a half a round out of the wedge bolt on the right rear spring, which should typically tighten the car up a little bit to give it a little bit more rear grip, maybe on exit.
So these 12 drivers will move on to the final round, and one of them will start from the pole. 6 Chevrolet, or 6 Fords, 2 Chevrolets, 4 Toyotas. Tomorrow, 12:30 Eastern on FS1, it's the Toyota Care 250 for the Xfinity Series. And then Sunday, the Monster Energy Series airs on Fox, 1:30 Eastern Time for the Toyota Owners 400. The big question to be settled here is who will start on the front row. 12 drivers are at the ready for round 3 of knockout qualifying. Joey Logano, Matt Kenseth have only 2 laps on their tires. And now those pieces of tape, like this one up here, and the one that's being applied down here, about to go put back on there. So
yeah, a lot of these teams have inline blowers, and so in order to move that air and let it flow and cool everything down, the brakes and the temp that builds up in those wheels and tires, they take that tape off so that air can flow through there.
And then replace it for aerodynamics.
Yeah, aerodynamics.
Okay, guys, we missed the time by a mile.
Yes, we did.
So who do you think will win the pole? We can go. We can try that now.
My money's on this guy right here. I mean, that's been pretty impressive. He's swept all 3 rounds before. I wouldn't be surprised if he does it here. I just wonder, did he get too much out of it that last time? He had a 1/10 of a second gap back to Harvick in second.
I'm gonna put my money on that 4 car. But speaking, look at that 17 car. He's coming off turn. He's all the way up against the wall. He found a little speed, I guess.
Yeah, it works for him in round 2.
Let's see what he does down here in turn 1, because he is running a higher line than most of these cats.
He goes in really high and then gets a big straight shot off. Makes that straightaway really long.
Yeah, get a lot of straightaway speed. He thinks high is good down here in 3 and 4. That's as high as anybody.
22:47. Now that's the slowest lap he's run in qualifying today.
By 2/10, and Stenhouse already ahead of him.
22:42.
Good job, Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
So there you're out.
Well, here, look at this though. The 22 is actually making a second lap and coming back now. No.
Oh, a 42 with a 9 versus Stenhouse with a 42 with a 2.
Stenhouse might improve his first lap. He does. By
a couple hundredths.
I think that 4 car. I put my little money on that 4 car. Harvick.
Keep an eye on this guy, Kenseth. He only had 2 laps coming into this round.
Green light for Matt Kenseth.
Great finish last week in Bristol. Might follow that up here with a pole at Richmond.
He's got the best. He's got some good tires.
Went in nice and easy. Now he's got to get back to the throttle, and he's going to do it.
And then we won't have to say, where did he come from? Top of the chart, 22:38.
Yes,
that
sir.
is Matt Kenseth's fastest lap of the day.
He's not done yet. He's going to make another lap. You know, this is the advantage. You save your tires so you can make 2 runs or 2 laps in this final run. Yeah. I think he's going to improve it a little bit more.
Circle K car and Circle Kenseth car is running pretty good today.
Hi, bud. Good job.
He may KO the competition. He's faster, 22:30.
Well, we've got Kevin Harvick on track and going into turn 1. I think he's the biggest threat. It's going to be close. Gave up a little bit down in 1 and 2, but he gained it back 3 and 4. Not quite enough, though.
43 for Harvick. That is his slowest lap of
probably
qualifying.
run a second lap, though, so we'll keep an eye.
A better 1 and 2, but not good enough.
It looked like he had a
Not
little
good enough.
issue getting off of turn 2, and he's going to.
Just not good enough.
Boyer, 22:67. That's his slowest lap of qualifying.
He's also making the second lap. Looks like everybody realizes this is for the pole. Let's get everything out of it we possibly can.
A 47 for Boyer. That's a little bit of a pickup. 68 for Earnhardt on his first lap. Don't think anybody has anything for Matt Kenseth.
No, that was
22.3 that's a nice lap.
I mean, this is Matt Kenseth's type of racetrack. You know, when you're having to deal with very slick conditions, really be gentle on the throttle, gentle with all your inputs, manage the grip and manage the tires. He did a great job. But look at Ryan Blaney. Got a couple of them flirting with it.
Blaney,
wow,
he
Truex to second.
Stenhouse.
Martin Truex on his second lap, a 37. That's his quickest lap. Blaney to second with a 34.
There's something, Jeff, Mike, about running high in 3 and 4. That's what Stenhouse did. That's what Blaney just did. They can really make some good time up high in 3 and 4.
And these teams during these rounds gather a bunch of information. They know where each of these cars ran, and they'll see where they got beat or where they gave up some time on the racetrack, try to make improvements, not only with setup changes, but also line changes for the driver.
Really Suarez 12th.
Yeah, proud of Daniel Suarez and the job he's done today.
Yes.
To recover from that bobble in round 1 and get all the way to round 3 here.
About to run out of time here. And Joey Logano can get one more lap here.
Time has expired. Everybody can come back.
That's what I like about Joey. I mean, he just never gives up. It doesn't matter if it's in the racing, qualifying. He and Todd Gordon, this whole team, take it all the way to the final seconds.
A 58 slower for Logano. No sweep.
Matt Kenseth.
How about it, Matt?
That Circle K stands for KO the field. Matt Kenseth will start Sunday's Toyota Owners 400 from the pole. How about that? Ran his fastest lap of the day in round 3 and ran a total of only 4 laps in 3 rounds. Matt Kenseth has his second career pole at Richmond. It'll be a Toyota Ford front row. Ford taking down 6 of the top 10 starting spots, led by Ryan Blaney and the Wood brothers in position 2. Vince?
Yeah, just joking with Matt Kenseth about how many poles he's had in his career, and he said, oh, maybe 3. I said, how about 23? But faster every lap, or your fastest lap was the last lap. How did you guys figure that out?
You got to ask Jason. Those guys did a really good job today adjusting between rounds. We had enough speed in our Circle K Camry that we only had to do 1 lap each of the first two rounds to get us into the 3rd round, and we improved a little bit the 2nd lap. So it was a good qualifying effort for us. Feels good to be on the pole. Want to thank Circle K. It's their first foray in full-time cup racing. So glad they're on our car. Everybody needs to roll by and fill their car up with gas and go buy some Gatorade.
You get the, of course, the top starting spot and also the pit selection as well. How big is that here at Richmond?
I thought you were going to ask me if I got a free fuel card again. So. You know, this year has not been a good year for us, obviously, so far. We finished strong at Bristol, but we didn't get to qualify because of the rain, and that put us in the middle of the pack there and Martinsville. So we haven't been getting any stage points. We're buried in the points back there, and we finally got a decent finish last week. So hopefully this week we can start up front, stay up front, hopefully collect some of them stage fronts, and but most importantly, hopefully we're in a mix for a win at the end of the day.
Yeah, and a good start for it. Thanks. Well done. Matt Kenseth on the pole here at Richmond. Matt?
Vince, a nice job by Ryan Blaney managing his tires, working through those different segments. And did you move up? Is that where you found some extra grip in time?
Yeah, the last lap of that last session, we moved up. And I wish I would have done it both laps the last session, so I kind of knew how hard to go, because I kind of was in there a little bit shallow the 2nd lap, and I knew I regretted it right away, and I tried to get more, and it kind of cost me time off too. And 3 and 4 we got through there really good, kind of moving up, but I guess a bunch of other cars did that, and they picked up, and I don't know where the 20 ran, but I thought it was a solid effort. We weren't great the first round, and we kind of kept getting steps better each round, which I think we've done a really good job of this year. I thought that's where we struggled a lot last year, was going round to round. I feel like we wouldn't improve. We always kind of go backwards, and now this year it seems like we're improving round to round, which is always nice. It's just communication and knowing what we need to change in our car. So that's something to be proud of. But that's a lot of second starts. I really want to race the Clash of Daytona. That's like my biggest thing right now, and it's upsetting me that we can't get a pole, but hopefully we'll get one. I think our Motorcraft Quick Lane Ford Fusion is pretty good, but we'll find out tomorrow in race trim.
Thanks. Mike?
Well, like Matt Kenseth, every one of Ryan Blaney's rounds were faster than the one before it. His last lap was his best. Ricky Stenhouse playing tag at Richmond, and the wall is it. Ruining that splendid new red and white paint job down the back straightaway.
Yeah, but I don't know if it hurt his race car. Might have helped that he went faster after this.
It narrowed it up. Get through the wind better.
Cosmetic damage. Oh, Matt?
And now we catch the money cloud. You can certainly feel the temperatures coming down.
Yeah, where was that when we were out there?
I know. And then you also took a little bit of the vinyl off the side, but still a great lap.
Yeah, we scuffed it. Y'all showed me leaning my head on the door. That wasn't because I was bummed I hit the wall. I was just waiting on my crew chief to come talk to me about air pressure stuff. But no, our fifth third bank Ford was really good all day. I was really bummed that first run. We got in the wall. The track I thought it was going to have a little bit more grip than it did. Similar to practice, I thought it was a little bit slower than practice for us, and scuffed the wall there. But we just had to make too many runs on our tires. We did 2 laps every session. I think Matt did one, and then 2 there that last session. But really happy with our starting spot. Our car felt really good in practice today. Look to do a lot of long runs tomorrow, and Sunday's going to be a blast sliding around. This is probably the most fun I think Richmond's going to be.
Good luck.
Thank you.
So we learned something there about Ricky Stenhouse. He doesn't have a lot of patience. Vince, sorry.
Yeah, now, Jeff, I'm not sure how much patience anybody's going to have on Sunday, but solid qualifying efforts, Kurt Busch and Clint Boyer. Kurt, 9th today. We talked before qualifying about how many laps you wanted to do, and how did the plan unfold for you? According to plan?
According to plan, other than the Mobile One was supposed to come out the trunk and slick up the track for everybody else. I wanted to get the best lap in coming to take the white in round 3, and I got a little bit loose coming to take the white, which that hurts both laps. And so I knew we were going to be a 10th behind the pace. But overall, I mean, to make the final round and have a shot at the pole, that's what you always hope for.
How hard is it to not overdrive when you're trying to get every single thing out of it?
Yeah, I mean, the pace feels so slow when you're running those 40s, and you want to go and attack and run a flat, but you can't. So definitely takes discipline to get the best grip level out of the car, and it's easy to overdrive.
And his teammate Clint Boyer brought it in 8th. Well done. You guys have really been qualifying well. I think that's the 3rd or 4th week inside the top 10 in a row.
Yeah, about missed it. Barely hung on to that top 12 and was able to go on. But, he said it. I mean, I'm telling you, this place, it's lost a ton of grip in the last just a year or so. Very easy to overdrive, and it's just like he said, you feel like it's got that flat in it, and you just feel like you're crawling out there, and you try to get that much more getting into the corner, and the thing slipping and sliding out from underneath of you. You get to the gas a little bit quicker, the car rotates and feels like it's ready, but if you go to it, it blows the tires off of it, especially off of 4. So discipline was the name of that game there. Having a good balance on that race car. I mean, it's very, very important on this racetrack because everybody knows, the ends seem like you get to working on tightening the entrance up and getting a little better drive, and now the thing's plowing in the center and you're whining and complaining on the radio. Not that we do that, but we'll take that. It was a good group effort having 3 cars up there for Haas Racing. Appreciate everybody, Ford, Haas, and everybody for the effort.
8th and 9th for these 2 guys, and Kevin Harvick was 6th. Strong effort from SHR.
Yeah, absolutely. The top 4 drivers each saved their best lap for last for the final round, led by Matt Kenseth.
We're here today to confirm the news you received this morning that I've decided to make this season my last as a NASCAR Cup driver.
Has it been overwhelming, all the response to your retirement?
Yeah, I was really surprised because I knew it was going to be a bit of a shock to some people because they know, what they've heard on TV or through the media, but they don't know exactly everything that we've been through over the last several months. So I knew it'd probably surprise some people that, why is he retiring? I thought he was good. I thought he's back here to stay. And so I was a little worried that people would be disappointed, be sad, maybe be even angry. And, there still might be some time for a lot of that. We got all year, though, to sort of get through all the emotions and wrap it up at the end of the season.
Much more on pre-race. For now, it's business as usual for NASCAR's most popular driver. 14 years in a row. 2 Daytona 500s, 2 Xfinity Series championships, and so far 26 victories. He will start in row 6 on Sunday. Matt Kenseth, Ryan Blaney, the front row. A lot of Fords up there.
Boy, it had to feel good to Dale Earnhardt Jr. to just understand how far his reach is within, you know, the world of motorsports and just sports in general.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool that he made the top 12 this today too, because they don't always do that. So that was a great effort by he and his team.
Yeah, he really likes this racetrack in Richmond.
One of his best, yes.
Denny Hamlin back in 16th. Boy, that's a big surprise. As was Brad Keselowski.
Yeah.
Shocking.
Yeah. Hey, Jimmy and Larson, another shock. We're going to see some cars coming to the front. I like that. It's going to be fun to watch.
This is old comers and goers.
Ryan Newman missed the final round on a tiebreaker. And there's the rest of your 38-car field. Austin Dillon starting last due to penalty.
Yeah, but he's going to have some new tires to come up through there.
That's right.
He has the absolute best tires in the field.
Yes, he does.
That's right. They have 0 laps on them.
0.
Yep. All right, we'll be back to wrap things up from Richmond, where it's a full weekend of NASCAR racing. The Xfinity Series tomorrow, and final practice for the Cup Series, and 400 laps for these drivers on Sunday. Matt Kenseth celebrates winning the pole for Sunday's race here in Richmond. Now tomorrow, we've got practice for you on FS1. A couple rounds of practice, including final practice. You'll see the Xfinity Series race on FS1 tomorrow afternoon after NASCAR race day. So race time is 1 o'clock for the Toyota Carrick 250. And then we'll see you Sunday on Fox with the Toyota Owners 400. Congratulations to Matt Kenseth and Ryan Blaney, who will start on the front row Sunday.